Hello and welcome to the Eclipse Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Savannah Rose Johnson. I'm so grateful to gather with you today and share the experience of my remarkable trip to Kona Island, Hawaii. I just got back about a week ago. Yeah, a little week ago and some change, maybe about 10 days ago. And I just have been taking this time to reflect and process just such a remarkable trip. It was something that came kind of out of the blue, and I think some of the best things often are, just very spontaneous. So it was my cousin Savannah Ray. So I'm Savannah Rose, she's Savannah Ray. It's her 30th birthday, and I actually just met her for the first time in December, so about a month ago. She has lived across the country in California for both of our lives. So I never met her, but I had heard about her. So when she was in my city selling her jewelry for her company, Anahata Ray, it I felt like I needed to go see her because I've really been trying to call in more time with family, just expanding my feminine relationships, calling in more travel, just these things that I'm really looking to invite into my life to expand my fulfillment and just expand my community and just connection with others and just foster my own feminine energy. So I was like, wow, bam, here we go. A female relative. This is going to be so fun. So getting to meet her in December was just it was so it was such a great experience. Like we only got to talk for maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe, and it was like it wasn't our first time meeting. It was so easy, and we just really connected right off the bat and had so much in common, and we're just so grateful to know each other and relate to one another. Because she and I have this common thread where we don't really feel like we relate to many people or anyone in our family. So then to like meet this long lost relative and relate to them so deeply was wow, it was so remarkable. So we just continued to chat for a few days, and then she just messages me one day and is like, "Hey, I know we just met, but do you want to go to Hawaii for my birthday trip in January?" I'm like, yes, of course. Because again, I was trying to call in more travel, and I've never been to Hawaii. And I know that was like a very special place for my grandmother, like my mom's mom, who's connected to that side of the family tree with Savannah and I. And it just felt so divine. It just felt like there were forces beyond myself that were just aligning all of this at the right place, right time. And I just said yes instantly, booked my ticket within like 30 minutes of our chat. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going. And it was just so exciting. And fortunately enough, like Savannah was able to work out a deal with the estate, Ohio Kona Estates, where we resided at, a trade deal with them. So basically, as like micro influencers, we were able to go stay at this gorgeous estate, create content for the estate and this website and social media pages, everything. And which I was like gonna do anyways because I love creating content. But the fact that we got to have this really amazing exchange with this estate was such a gift in and of itself. And the house and land was just breathtaking. My friends were saying it looked like a house that like you'd host a reality TV show at, and that's how it felt. Like I felt like I was in a movie out there, and I'm having to sip on my tea during this episode. Forgive me. Maybe it'll give you a little ASMR experience. But yeah, so come January, it's time to leave. I'm like barely sleeping because I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is actually happening. And then I start to have a little anxiety of it kind of dawning on me, like, I don't know anyone. I was one of 11 girls. I mean, I knew my cousin Savannah, but just barely. Like I don't know anyone. And I do have like sometimes twangs of social anxiety, and that definitely surfaced where I was like kind of starting to worry, like, am I going to fit in? Are they going to accept me? Am I going to get along? And I'm grateful I was able to work through that because I just really released it and was like, I don't need to worry about this. I don't know, and that's okay. I'm just gonna show up as my authentic self. And with an open heart, and I know if I give off that energy, the right people, I'll connect with them. And luckily, I traveled my 10-hour flight. I am like just so jazzed the whole time. Then I land in Honolulu, have my layover for a bit, then jet off to Kona. So it was a really long day of travel, arriving Wednesday evening in Kona. So yeah, it was a long day of travel, but I as soon as I got to the house, stripped, got in my bikini, hit the hot tub where I got to meet more of the girls, and everyone was just so kind and open-hearted and interesting and smart and just radiant and beautiful inside and out. So I just felt so grateful, and that was all kind of a common thread that we had. Just I think unfortunately with culture sometimes pitting women against each other. We all, or many of us at least, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but many of us, when we shared, like, I was a little nervous coming on this trip and meeting women and wondering if I would feel safe or not. Like, we kind of bonded through that. And we're just so grateful that we were all doing the work on ourselves and just there to have a good time and support each other and hype each other up. And I'm just so grateful for the friendships I was able to make with many of the girls. And it was just so very much what I needed. Just being able to go with the flow and have all these experiences and just let go and be and just embrace everything as it came. Like we sort of had a loose itinerary, excuse me, itinerary, mm, but it wasn't anything like written in stone or like if you needed to have time to yourself, like you were welcome to do that. Like there's so much flexibility, which I appreciated. And it was such a contrast from the way I'd been living my life for some time because just like a few weeks before I left for this trip, I had been kind of pondering if I wanted to stay in this house that I'm in right now because my lease ends in March. And I was really trying to chew it over. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to stay here because this is like the house that my ex and I had together. Um, and I just feel like I've kind of outgrown the area, like just the neighborhood as well. I mean, I love my neighbors, but just like the general area, it's kind of far from a lot of my community. Um, but then I was also like, "Ugh, I don't really want to go through like the discomfort and like the challenge of moving." I was like, I guess I'll just stay. Well, as soon as I had that thought, I was thinking that thought on my drive home from a sleepover with my girlfriends early January. Um, as soon as I got home, checked my mail, and I have a notice from my leasing company letting me know, like, hey, so sorry, your house is being sold. So you can't renew your lease. And I'm like, well, that decision is made for me. So I guess I'm moving. Which is funny. Like I laugh because I'm like, okay, that was easy. Like I don't have to make this decision. It's gonna happen. But then like my leasing company is offering me like all these benefits. Like if I stay with them and just switch to a different house, like I'll get all these benefits. So I'm like, okay, I'll receive that. Like I'll take it. So it felt like a big level up, like a big push from the universe of like, you are going to enter a new chapter, like, period. But you're going to be supported through it. And I'm really grateful for that. So I started browsing, looking around at houses. And then, like, a few days later, um, like, we had this huge thunderstorm, huge rainstorm, flash flooding and my house flooded on like multiple stories because I had apparently a hole in my roof I didn't know about. Um, and so all this water was coming in and coming through the wall and like soaking the top floor, which then was going down on the bottom, like into the basement. And then also there's like a hole in the foundation where all this water came gushing in. So there's like standing water in my garage and basement. It was a mess. And so like the ceiling is like, or like the upstairs floor is like sopping wet from like the water that's coming in, and then that's dripping down into the basement. And my ex left a bunch of stuff in the garage that I just I'm working on getting rid of now. since I'm moving and I have to. But also I just don't want that energy in my house anymore. But it was so ironic because um, the dripping from the ceiling was dripping only on his stuff. Like all my stuff was fine, but it was all his stuff was getting rained on. So it felt like this very loud and clear message from the universe of like, we are washing this out of your life, like new freaking chapter. So that was all like a whole lot of mess going on back here at home. And so I was just dealing with a lot of contractors and getting the house fixed and looking at houses and not really finding anything that I loved. It just was nothing really felt aligned. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this go right now and just focus on going on my trip and be in that energy and in that new frequency and allowing once I return home, like that energy and new state of mind to be my guide towards this new chapter and like the new house that I find. Um, so again, back in Hawaii in the hot tub, we're just having a great night. And then the next day we hit the beach and just relax and get to know each other more. And so this is Thursday, the full moon. And then come home and I host a cacao ceremony for everyone, which my intention behind that, like with it being our first like real full night together, um, just just creating a community with us because we're going to be on this trip together going on all these adventures and some of us didn't know each other, so it was my intention to just bring everyone together through the just beautiful, comforting, grounding experience of having ceremonial cacao. And it was probably one of the highlights of the whole trip for me, and just so special seeing people come out of their shell and be vulnerable and share and everyone connecting. And it just really brought a cohesive energy to the group. So when we proceeded towards our mini adventures after that, um, we really knew each other and could see each other and feel safe being seen, which it was just such a gift. I'm so happy about that, and it was so meaningful to me because cacao has just been such a huge tool for me in my community here, but also just in my self work. And it was, I feel like my love language of like acts of service and gifts, like kind of united, and quality time kind of united into this experience of being able to like show these girls my heart and my love by providing this for everyone. And just the fact that everyone gained something unique through the experience was so, it was just so special. And I'm just so happy for that. Yeah, and then the next day, oh, actually, right after I forgot, after the ceremony, then a handful of us went out dancing, and that was so fun. We got home really late, probably around 12:30ish Hawaii time, which would be about 5 or 6 a.m. Atlanta time. Oh, so I was feeling it. Oh my gosh. But I impressed myself with my vitality, especially like after having been through a hell of a year in 2023, like and feeling so exhausted emotionally. It felt so good to reconnect with my vitality because like I know I'm like a workhorse. Like I know I have really great stamina, but I haven't felt that lately. And I haven't felt really anything light me up enough to want to push and tap into that like energetic reservoir that I contain. And um so I love that this Hawaii trip really pushed me physically because my spirit was so fulfilled, it made it easy. I mean, of course, I had moments where I needed to take space and relax and soak in the hot tub and just have food and take care of my body, but I was really amazed at my vitality and grateful I was able to connect to that piece of myself again, like for myself. Because I feel like in the past, especially like in my career, I was just pushing myself to the extremes for other people, and for like the business I was a part of, and because I just was stressed out with deadlines and tasks. But this was such a beautiful contrast of pushing myself because I just wanted to keep having more fun. and I just didn't want to miss out on anything, and I wanted to soak up every experience that I could, and I just I just loved that. I just was so present and alive, and I really needed that. So yeah, we went out dancing Thursday night after the cacao ceremony, which was so fun. And then Friday, we got up and did some like content creation, and then went to the coffee farm, where we had this like amazing coffee info session with Desmond. So shout out Desmond. It was so informative, and just his passion behind just the connection to the land and honoring the land and the art that is coffee roasting, everything was just so inspiring, and just felt really connected to, I would say, like, just the spiritual experience that was this trip for everyone. Like, it was so cool to be with someone who was, like, just passionate, and that was just such an aligned energy for this trip. And, yeah, it was just such a beautiful farm. We loved it. We tried to go to this cacao farm afterwards, but we couldn't find it. So we were all hungry. So we're like, you know what? We'll just catch them at the farmer's market tomorrow. So we went and just got poke instead and feasted because we were starving. And some of the girls went off to go on a hike. I was not feeling so hot at this point. So it was kind of my dinner time, and I was feeling pretty tired from the jet lag. So I just opted to go thrifting with the other half of the caravan, which was really fun because if y'all know me, you know I love to antique and thrift. I thrifted this tank top and a few other things, which is fun. Um, and yeah, it was just such a great experience, and getting to meet like more people who live on the island, and the shop owners. They were just all exceptional people, and it was just so much fun. And then after thrifting, we um, had a little beach excursion, part two, at this other little beach, and it was really fun. Just excuse me, I'm struggling over here. Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, just a little excursion at the beach, which was just so fun. This on this trip, wherever we went, we would just pack a swimsuit because we just didn't know when we would be like, "Oh, there's a beach, let's go." So, and just being able to change into a swimsuit and just enjoy nature and be in the water, it was just so it was just such a vibe. And just go with the flow, like, that's something I really wanted to call in for this trip, and I feel like I was able to achieve it, was just being in my feminine flow and feeling safe to do so. I will say, on the first couple of days, I had to confront a lot emotionally. Not anything really having to do with the trip itself. Like, it was great energy, great company, but it became so apparent to me, just so many wounds that I hadn't felt safe in my like home environment to confront, for whatever reason, um, or just being feeling safe to just like open up and let go. I feel like all that was really provoked on this trip, so I could really hold myself through it, show myself compassion and love, and put it to rest. Because, like, something some of my friends do, is we have like Mayan fireside ceremonies where we release, just stuff that's weighing on our hearts, like, to the fire, and like throw stuff in the fire to represent like the transmutation of, whatever it is we're wanting to release. And with Kona being a unique island, because a lot of the other islands are very lush and feminine, and kind of what you think typical like of Hawaii. Kona, the Big Island where we were at, it's it still has like an active volcano. It is all lava rock, and has this almost like rugged, in some areas, like rugged, like masculine component to it. Is very grounding though, and it felt like I was living within a Mayan fireside ceremony, being on this earth made from fire, basically. It was it was just such a clearing, cathartic experience. And I feel like challenging. Like I feel like it brought up some stuff that again I needed to work through, like insecurities and comparison. And so I'm surrounded by all these like gorgeous women. And I could tell like some wounds from my past relationship um were showing up. Like since my ex had like uh issues with fidelity, we'll just put it like that. Um, I did have like I started to have these unhealthy thought patterns in the relationship of like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, like I'm not desirable, like whatever. And it wasn't safe to be in my feminine because what I was receiving wasn't healthy masculine energy. And so I feel like this trip, like being on this land was like, this is stuff that that's still living within you. And I was like having to confront all of those things that I just mentioned. But I was a little annoyed at first. I was like, I'm here to have fun. Like I'm here to be on vacation. Like I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about this guy anymore. Like whatever. But it was, I could tell it needed to come up so I could really move through it and give it to the land. Just give it back and not have to carry it anymore and just be held by this experience. And those things haven't bothered me since. And I'm like so grateful. It was medicine. It was just medicine being on this island and and working through those things. And then I feel like once I was able to work through that stuff, like I was just jubilant and just in my feminine and just like giggly and able to just go with the flow and not have all this chatter in my mind and just experience like a new sense of freedom. And it I just I'm so grateful. um and so yeah, so Friday at the beach, and then we go flower hunting to make homemade leis, and then we just kind of have a chill night Friday, and then Saturday get up, and it's Savannah, my cousin's birthday. So we like get up early, some of us, and like decorate, and it's just so cute. Her reaction is so cute. And I have pictures of all of our adventures, by the way, in the companion diary blog posts that I wrote. So yeah, I had a video of Savannah's reaction, and it just makes my heart smile. So I'm so grateful. And yeah, so we're just celebrating her, and then Melinda, she was one of the ladies on our trip. She held on the estate land. We found this like nice flat, beautiful spot, just all this lush greenery around us, and she held this beautiful yoga flow for all of us, which was just so nice to get into our bodies um and just like move. And I had more of that stuff come up for me. Um that I mentioned, like just I could feel it coming up out of my body and some pain that came with it, but I was able to just like flow it out. So I'm like, yes, get out. And then after yoga, we dress and go to the farmer's market where we got to see the cacao farm. I got their tea and sampled their hot chocolate, which was outstanding. Mm. Then I also hit up in a couple honey stations or vendors. Um, and yeah, and just all the honey. I'm a honey girl. I love honey so much. So I got a lot of honey and just honey products. So oh, it was so fun. And then we headed to the beach. But at this point I was feeling just a lot of those emotions like really needing to be released. And I was also like really hungry and just kind of overstimulated. I could tell I needed some space. And luckily one of the other girls on the trip, she and I were like on a very similar wavelength for this trip. So she was like, "Hey, you want to like go to this cafe with me and kind of take a break from the beach and the sun and everything?" And I'm so grateful for that. So she and I separated for a bit to go have a little side quest at this cafe where I just inhaled a bunch of food. I was so hungry. And then she and I had this really just beautiful heart to heart where she shared, I shared. It was so good to release and be seen, and she's such a great listener, so, like, shout out Kelly, like, oh, so sweet, she's a little angel, and because like, there were, like, people asking me questions, like, in the group setting about my breakup and what I was going through, but I didn't feel comfortable sharing a lot with the group because it was just so tender, and it's not really, like, and it was really traumatic, so I was like, this isn't really, like, TED Talk material for me right now." But being able to, like, be in the one-on-one session or, like, setting with Kelly was really, really what I needed to release, and so I'm grateful for her holding space, and after that, I just felt so much better, and, like, I really was able to put all that to rest, and, yeah, so then we returned to the beach and hang out for a little while and then head home and, just, like, relax and, um I'll, like, just start getting ready for Savannah's birthday dinner, so we go out to dinner, and, the meal was fantastic, and, um and then while we were at the restaurant, we I was at the end of the table, and I was, like, trying to take a selfie of all of us, and then this very handsome man, um, came over and offered to take our picture for us, and then we just started chatting, and he, lived on the island, um, and so, yeah, we were, like, chatting, like, flirting a little bit, and then he invited us out to, this club after our meal, so, then him and his, dinner party left, so we were there for a little while longer, and all the girls were like, "Oh, okay, so we're gonna go to this club, right?" So they were all very supportive, um, of the flirting that was happening, which was just, like, good girl, giggly fun. So then we go to the, nightclub, and he wasn't there yet, so it's just us dancing, and I'm like, "I came here to dance first and foremost." So so we're all dancing, and then this other guy asked me to dance, and he was really nice, and, so we're, like, dancing, and then, of course, that's when, um I think yeah, I'll just call him A. So, of course, that's when A, like, shows up, and it's when I'm dancing with another guy, but I'm like, you know, it is what it is. So, but yeah, so it was ironic, but, it divine timing, divine timing. So then, he's, like, mingling with our group a little bit, but, um, I just really wanted to, like, remain in my feminine and just be pursued, I guess. Like, if this person was worth my time, like, I wanted him to show me, basically. Um, Not to sound, like, conceited, but I was really just trying to continue to embody, like, this state of being in my feminine and just kind of leaning back, and I don't necessarily like the word passive, but, um so I feel like it has kind of a negative connotation, but just remaining relaxed, and I was like, "Okay, he can come to me. He can be in his masculine and in the do, like the yang, and I'll be in my yin." So, which is fun, and then eventually we do excuse me. Hmm. And then eventually, like, um, we do start dancing and break away for a little bit to have a side convo and get to know each other, and I don't know if you can hear that. My dog is grunting like he's an 80-year-old man. Anyways, yeah, so then we, um, start to get to know each other more and then move back to the dance floor and are just, like, really getting into it, and if y'all know me, you know I love, 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 love to dance. Like, it's just such an expression for me, but it's sometimes kinda hard to find a man who is into it as much as me and, like, good and, like, has a rhythm, but A, really he really impressed me, with how in tune he was, and we had so much fun dancing, and my girls ended up, leaving the club, and I stuck around to continue dancing the night away with him, which was really fun. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't kiss and tell, but but we had a really fun night. And it just felt so good to be embraced in my feminine, and like someone who was so healthy in his masculine and very respectful, but also like pursuing me, and who was very, what's the word, like confident, but also like relaxed at the same time. And he's also a Virgo like me. So we just had like so much in common, which was fun. So I just felt very comfortable, and like I was just very relaxed and go with the flow. So then yeah, we have a magical night, and then we hang out again in the morning and just have lots of quality time and get to know each other more. And he makes me this like delicious breakfast. I forget what it's called, but it's like it was like a traditional kind of Louisiana meal, and it was so good. Yeah, and I am so grateful for that experience with him, just all of it. I mean, one, he's a fantastic person and just so sweet and handsome. But I could tell it was something that I really needed to experience, because I think, oh, I'm starting to feel some feelings right now. Wow, was not expecting that. Um, yeah, yeah. That's why I love this podcast, because I feel like I process a lot. So thanks for listening. Um, yeah, I think I needed that experience to like experience oh, like feeling safe with a man again. And like desired, which sounds like silly, maybe, but I think after like the wounds that I experienced, and like really working on my healing, and coming back into my own and my confidence and my sense of self-worth, and being able to set boundaries and enforce boundaries and hold myself so that way I can feel comfortable being in my feminine and receiving that kind of attention from someone who's in their healthy masculine. um it was like it was just what I needed. And it felt so good to feel so comfortable, and it was like just a very genuine experience. It wasn't like, oh, I think my cat's having a hairball. Oh, bless her heart. She'll be fine. But she gets them every now and again. I feel so sad when I hear her. Oh, oh, sorry about the interruption, but my poor kitty. Um, okay, she's good. Okay. Oh, anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, just like it was very genuine and safe, and feeling very comfortable and just able to go with the flow, and feeling very like just giggly and jubilant and connected to my feminine, and getting to feel safe in that state, and not have to be on guard of like love bombing, or someone who's like doing too much, or someone who is not authentic. It was just, I appreciated how expressive he was, how um much he like wanted to genuinely build a connection, but then also like how it was very just easy and there wasn't any pressure. It was just really fun. And then headed back home after our morning, to participate in the sound bath, which we had at a rainforest sanctuary, which, oh my gosh, I needed that. It was such a beautiful, deeply meditative experience, so restorative. Um, just such a great practice after like such a jam-packed few days. And it was so beautiful, and just such a beautiful conversation with everyone after, very moving. And it was funny because Savannah like went around the circle and was sharing with everyone like what she loved about them and admired about them. And when it came down to me, she remarked about my bravery and my courage, and how I just like on a whim, basically, like, decided to go on this trip with them all, with all these people I didn't know, and I had heard that before from my friends and other people, just this word of like, "Oh, you're so brave, you're so brave, you're so courageous." And it's funny 'cause, like, yes, but I think I've realized, like, that bravery isn't, like, the absence of fear. It's not like I just feel brave and I don't feel fear. I feel a lot of fear. Like, not a lot, but I mean, I feel fear. I feel it. Fear is there sometimes. And I move through it. Like, I think I'm learning how to feel fear, hold myself through it, trust my intuition, trust myself, and still do the thing that, like, I really wanna do, and I think that's how we grow, and that's at least what I'm realizing with myself, like, how I'm growing is, like, it was like, there are all these new things that I was doing, a lot of uncomfortable stuff I was moving through, a lot of great stuff that was coming my way that also was just new, and, um, yeah, it was just it's just been really nice to reflect on that word bravery and embody it and be like, I am brave. I am brave. Like, that's cool. Um, and like allowing that to be an attribute of mine, even if I don't feel it, and even if I do still feel fear of the unknown or whatever, I can be brave at the same time. Um, so yeah, gosh, the sound bath was just remarkable. And then we come home. I soak in the hot tub for a little while because I'm like sore and tired, and then we go shopping for like a little bit as well, just out on the town for a minute before coming home and having some dinner, and then um, after sundown around 8 p.m. we go manta ray snorkeling. At nighttime snorkeling, and granted, this is my first time ever snorkeling. I've never been snorkeling before. And um the waves were well, it kept getting canceled and rescheduled because the water was too rough. But it was finally calm enough to where we could go on it this night. And the waves were, as the captain described it, nautical, which now I know what that means. AKA, like, it was kind of scary. We were riding on this boat, pitch black, into the middle of the ocean, and I'm, like, kind of at the front of the boat because I'm kind of a daredevil. Like, I like to watch it because I'm like, "What's gonna happen? Like, what control do I have?" So I might as well have fun. Kinda like a roller coaster where, like, I'm watching these big freaking waves, like, break on the front of the boat, and it's just like water, just just crazy, and I'm like, "I'm scared, but this is fun." And just continuing to, like, embody that, like, go with the flow mentality and just have a good time and not worry about stuff that isn't happening in the moment. It's like, yes, it'd be worth my worry if we actually did capsize and whatever, but it's like, why invite that into this moment? Why can't I just enjoy what's happening, be present, and have fun with it? And I really got to experience that, and it was just so great. And then, so we're like in our wetsuits, we make it to this spot where they have these really cool lights that attract, I want to say it's plankton, one of those little sea critters that manas eat. And so they have like these lights, and they have these boards that you basically hold on to and float with your face in the water. And then you have like a noodle holding up your feet so you don't like kick the manta rays and stuff. So get in the water. It's cold, but I have my wetsuit on. And granted, again, this is my first time snorkeling, and the water's like crazy. And I've never like it was a lot because I think just like with the tight constrictive wetsuit and then this thing on my face, I'm gonna breathe through this tube. Like, I just started like hyperventilating, not out of anxiety, but it was like a instinctive reaction from my body where my body is like, you want me to put my face in the water and breathe through what? No. So I had to really work through this like this really tough breathing, and just calm my mind down, calm my body down, and just take breaks when I needed to. And but there were so many manta rays, so many. They're enormous, and it's kind of like one of the crew said, it's kind of like Vegas, like you can't touch them, but they can touch you. And so these manas are coming right up on you because they're just coming to scoop up the food. And um, it was just it was just unreal. It was stunning. And it's like the water's just pitch black, so you can't see anything. But then all of a sudden, you'll just see this enormous shape. And then it's like this angelic manta ray. And I have like a spiritual connection to manta rays because of this book I read a long time ago in middle school. It's called what is it called? Dr. Franken's Island? Dr. Franken's, it's not Dr. Frankenstein, something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but I read this hauntingly incredible sci-fi book um where like this evil scientist has this girl hostage and like turns her into a manta ray, and she like learns new sense of freedom even being a hostage like as a manta ray. So it was really like a beautiful story. I mean, not a good story. It's not good to be a hostage. Let me mention that. But just how she embraced like her state and was able to like still find freedom in like being a manta ray. So that's why I have a spiritual connection to manta rays. So then getting to experience the manta rays was just like I could have cried. It was just so beautiful. Scary, but it was beautiful. But then this one manta ray, like kind of towards the end, literally, it was like I received an anointing or like a blessing from like a water angel or something. Because this manta ray just went its whole fin just along my body. It felt so slimy, but it was amazing. I was like, oh, it like knighted me. I was like, it anointed me with a blessing. It was so special. Yeah, just such a beautiful experience. So, so cool. Kind of intense because like again, the water was wild, but we made it. I'm here. And the boat ride home was rough because we were all so sick and I was like throwing up on the side of the boat. It was not cute. But worth it, worth it. So then I get home, I'm like just dehydrated and exhausted and running on 0 sleep and like motion sick. So I just shower and pass out, go to bed. But wake up early in the morning to make more content. And so that was our last morning on Monday. So make my final round of content and then pack up. And then a few of us head to the airport and catch our flights. And then so my flight was early Monday morning, Hawaii time, and I did not sleep whatsoever on the flight home, which I'm like amazed because I was exhausted beyond like shadow of a doubt. But it's like my mind was just like, what did I just experience? I'm like on a whole other vibration, just like rah! Like probably a little manic, probably a little like adrenaline running on fumes. But so I'm just like coming down on the plane ride home. It's like another 10-hour flight home. And I'm just like sobbing and like laughing and just like people probably thought I was nuttier than a fruitcake on the plane because I'm just having this whole like just processing experience on the plane and like just meditating, like trying to sleep, but not being able to sleep and just like, wow, what what was that? And so get home early Tuesday morning, Atlanta time, come home, um, kind of throw in a load of laundry, eat some food, take a shower, and pass out in my bed. I sleep for like 10 hours. I sleep the whole day away. So I wake up at nighttime on what is it? This is still Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And I'm feeling really, really sad because I think just because my body was exhausted still, and I'm just coming down from this huge high of a trip, and so I'm just like sobbing and just like, oh my gosh, not feeling sad about anything in particular, but just releasing. It's just releasing. So much great stuff, but there's still a lot to process, a lot for my body to go through. So I'm just holding myself through that, and then um, talk on the phone with my mom for a couple hours and recount everything to her and give her all the detail. It was so much fun. Just getting to relive it. And then the next day, um, well, actually, I started writing the diary, like the journal blog post to this. And then the next day, I I'm so glad I took that day off, because I just smushed all my clients into Thursday, Friday. So I have all of Wednesday just to rest and do more laundry and just take care of my body and just practice meditation and mindfulness and gratitude. And I'm journaling and I'm crying and just thanking God, just thanking my angels, like my ancestor, like everybody like that brought this trip together. And I'm just saturating myself in that gratitude and just so many many feelings, but allowing myself to feel it all and just create meaning from it. I'm like, I need to write about this. Like, I need to make something because I need to get this out of me somehow. So that's why I'm doing this podcast and wrote my like freaking dissertation on this trip. Just because I'm like, I need to create something from this because this was so invigorating and shifted so much for me and my body and my mind and my spirit. Like, I gotta keep this going somehow. So like I wear my little shell necklace like every day. But yeah, it was just amazing. And then I have a dance party, like a Lana Del Rey night dance party in Atlanta Friday night, which was so fun just to dance again. Cause I think I just really realized like I just really love dancing. It just helps me stay connected to my feminine and it's just such a great expression for me. So I go to a dance party Friday night. I'm still like on Hawaii time, so I don't go to bed till like freaking 4 or 5 a.m. Saturday morning, and I get up at 11 to go to another dance party. Mm. So then I go to soul dance, like the ecstatic dance community here, and dance some more. And this is like a different vibe. Like Lana Del Rey night was a little more glam, and then soul dance is a little more like spiritual, like primal dancing. But I go with some of my really close friends and we just dance and I dress in this like outfit that like I wouldn't have had the courage to wear like a few months ago. Probably like earlier in my life when I was just like a little rascal youth, but now like now I find myself like wanting to not like show off my body necessarily, but like just celebrate my womanhood, celebrate my curves, celebrate my body, its shape. And so I just wear this like super feminine outfit, like body chain, just pasties over my nipples because I'm like, I just want my titties out. Like, sorry to be crass, but I'm like, I just want my titties out. Like, I just want to feel like a woman and wear this beautiful skirt and wear this crown and wear like these embellished gold on my face. And it was so satisfying for me because like without even trying, like I embodied and emulated this siren mermaid energy, which I'm if you know me, you know I'm obsessed with mermaids. And it wasn't like I was trying to be that, it just happened. And everyone was coming up to me being like, oh my gosh, you look like a mermaid. And I was like, yes, like that's so that makes me so happy because that's how I feel. Like that's I feel embodied in that energy of just being unapologetic, feminine queen baddie. I'm like, let's go. So mm, it was so fun. And then after that, I went home and crashed because I was so tired. I had to soak in the tub for like 2 hours because my body just hurt from all the dancing. My feet were like, I couldn't walk for like 2 days. So Sunday was a rest day, needless to say. And now I'm getting back into the groove of my daily life. And I mean, I still have to find a new place to live um, and I'll be moving closer to where like a lot of my friends and community are. So like it's a good thing. New chapter, new fresh start, everything. Um, and yeah, I'm just trying to embrace it with that same go with the flow mentality. I mean, like, yes, I have a checklist. Like, yes, there are things I have deadlines on, but like also just going with the flow. And just like how in Hawaii I was able to embrace each thing that came my way and just do what I needed to do to care for myself through the process and maybe go my own way if I needed to. Like I was able to stay present, stay jubilant, just live and feel alive and that's something Hawaii gave me that I know I can take with me into my life now and embody that and continue to integrate it into my life moving forward. So February is going to be, and already is, like a fun month where lots of fellowship, lots of time with my girlfriends here, and also like just kind of out with the old, like clearing out the stuff that I don't need in my life anymore and just opening myself up to this new chapter. And I'm feeling excited. Like there's a lot of stuff I still don't know yet, but it's okay. I don't have to know it. And I think the not knowing it allows it to remain an adventure, but also just remain open to possibilities. And I think I'm learning this balance between like in manifestation where I'm like calling in the stuff that I want, like the energy I want, and the people I want, and the experiences I want to have, but also letting go and allowing it to show up how it needs to show up. Where it's like I'm learning manifestation isn't like, this is what I want and this is how it's going to happen. It's like, this is what I want. I have goals. I'm going to keep moving through them, doing the things, shifting the energy, but also like detaching on certain outcomes. Like maybe something doesn't work out the way that I want to or hope for, and that's okay because I know I'm being set up for something better. And I'm excited. So I'm excited and just like I just feel like this year is like already just wild. And just so fun and wholesome and just full of healing. And I just feel like I'm really in my power. And I kind of learned like I've been suppressing my power for some time because like if people were turned off by my power or offended or it brought up something for them and then they started to act cold or mean or hurtful towards me, I would take it personally and be like, "Oh, I shouldn't be in my power anymore because then I'm going to lose this person's love or friendship or whatever." But now I've just kind of learned like that's exhausting and damaging for me, and I love being in my power and I feel safe being seen in my power now. And I've worked really hard to get to this place. And if someone doesn't like it or understand it, like that's a them thing. And I can, love them through that from a distance if necessary, or just let them go and know that they're on their own journey and hopefully they find that healing and that's okay. But it's not it's not evidence that I have to dim my shine. It's not justification that I need to suppress myself so they're more comfortable. I'm like, that's not helpful for either one of us. Um, so just yeah, embracing my power and uh, just knowing that so much is contained and possessed within each moment that deserves to be acknowledged, whether it's like my feelings or the surroundings or the person I'm with or whatever it is. Like I deserve to be right here, right now. And I don't have to create suffering for myself by attaching or having expectations or trying to control. Like, I understand why I may have had to do those things in the past, like because I was trying to get a sense of safety, but I don't need that to feel safe anymore. Like, I know how to actually hold myself and feel safe so I can move forward in life with like almost like a youthful naivete where it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited. Kind of like when you talk to your dog and like that excited voice, like, we're gonna go to the park, and it's like the dog doesn't know what you're saying, but just because you're saying it all excited, like your dog's excited. Like that's kind of how I feel right now. I feel like the universe is like, you have a new chapter coming your way, Savannah, and I'm like, okay, like I don't know. So that's how I feel. Just trying to embrace my inner golden retriever, I guess, um yeah, so thank you for being on this journey with me. I can't wait to share more with you as it continues to unfold. So stay tuned for more, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Check out the partnering, the link will be in the description. The partnering diary that I wrote for this trip. I have tons of pictures. I've listed like everywhere I could remember, like where we ate, where we went, what I bought from places, like all of that. So if you're planning a trip to Kona as well, you can check out and support some of these local farmers and visit the beautiful places. And I just hope that wherever you are in life, you are being kind to yourself and knowing like that you deserve to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, and that this moment is so rich and full, and you have everything you need in this moment right now. And like let that ground you and comfort you and nourish you. So, with that, again, I'm Savannah Rose Johnson. You're listening to the Eclipse Evolution podcast. Mahalo and aloha. So, until next time, take care, be well, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.